loved Heroic Holly, and I was waiting to give this to you. Although it did scare me because I was like, they're giving Mike a lot of screen time. And I was just like, oh, this makes me very, very nervous. Because like, I don't think he's had this much screen time since the first season, whenever they focused so much on him and Elle. And I was just like, I don't know, like I'm scared. They've given him scenes with Holly. They're giving him scenes with his sister. They're giving him scenes with Eleven. Like, I'm just like...
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh my God, this is not good. Because I really like Mike. I don't... Yeah. But that was such a great scene, and it was so heartwarming. And yeah, I knew Mr. What's-It was bad news. Surprised at how upset I was at the thought that she was dead. And I was shocked because I was like, this is the last season. They're probably going to kill off a few more characters, and they're probably going to kill some characters we wouldn't expect. And I thought for sure, yeah, Karen Wheeler would be one that's big enough to matter, and to affect us more than we think, but not quite a big enough character that it's like, well, I don't want to rewatch the series now because it's such a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought for sure she was dead. Like I was super confident that she was dead. And then when they brought her back, I was like, okay, I'm really glad. And I was like, okay, but who's going to die? Is it going to be, is it going to be Mike? Who's going to die? So mixed feelings. Cause I was like, I thought we got one of the big character deaths out of the way. I made peace with it, and then they brought her back. So it was an emotional roller coaster, but I am overall very glad, because that would have just been heartbreaking. It's still heartbreaking, but it would have been so much worse. And I was like, we can kill the husband.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what I meant about, like, it's not really his plot, so that's why we put him in a coma. But it's
yeah, if he just dies in the coma, I'm fine. I never really liked his character.
I like his character, and I meant to mention this on the other episode, but it's a testament to the writing of this show that they can actually make you like that douchey sort of character. But and I think it's just because I remember in season 1 where he's been that character from the start, and they just made it quite funny, like the way he would randomly say language, but like he just wasn't interested, and just the back and forth. And it's almost like, well, why are you married to this square, Karen? But you just, that's the way it works sometimes. But
I always assumed, even though they've never said anything, she just got knocked out. She's like, I gotta marry him. The deaths are probably gonna have weight this season. So, you know, like the dad that's just kind of been there but never really been a big character is probably gonna be safe. So
yeah, I sort of feel his character serves a purpose. That's the way I would put it.
And I really enjoyed it, and I think it made it that much more satisfying whenever she pulled through. It was a great moment. It's one of my favorite moments this season, I think, was both the fight and the fact that she didn't die.
Important things is there were stakes in it, and you really cared about. You know, Nancy was so, like, it was so sad to see her get upset herself at the hospital. It's like, you know, I should have seen this coming.
Because Ted's not really a big character. And Karen, if she was going to be a goner, I think they would have killed her there.
Agree.
Unless there's a big time jump, I don't think we're going to see them until the very end of the series. I'm picturing, like, they're, you know, all together at the end. I think they're kind of out of commission, but, you know, maybe they'll do a time jump, and maybe you're right that they will have like a moment when they all stand together. I think that would be really cool. I hadn't thought about that, but I think that would be really neat. That would be a great moment to see Karen get to be a badass again. I would enjoy that a lot. So yeah, I hope you're right. That would be really cool. I hadn't thought about that, but now that you've said it, I really want that.
Based on this episode, I think I'm sold on the fact that Nancy and Jonathan will end up together at the end of the show. That's assuming they both survive, of course. But my theory is now that in this episode where Steve gives some hard truth to Jonathan, and we're definitely going to get more of them squaring off this season, then I think that could be what plays out. Then it could be Steve with a little bit of experience dating Nancy, like giving Jonathan advice and kind of setting them both straight and, you know, giving them both good advice. And I think he might be the pearls of wisdom that kind of leads to those two ending up together at the end of the show.
Yeah, I had a completely opposite take.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually think, mostly based on that one scene where Steve wants to go to Nancy and comfort her, and Jonathan's like, no, we need to focus on the mission. Like, I understand both points of view and both decisions, but I feel like the writing implies that Steve cares more about Nancy than Jonathan in that scene. So that's what makes me think maybe her and Steve actually will end up together. Now, whether or not it's because Jonathan dies or because she just chooses Steve, I don't know. But that's kind of led me to think either that, or Steve's going to make a heroic sacrifice to save Nancy, which I would hate because I love Steve. I don't want anything bad to happen to Steve. It would break my heart. He's like my favorite. So him and Hopper.
Sure.
So that would just totally break my heart. But I think maybe he might die to save Nancy. I hate that idea, but that might happen. I think she could, that's like the only way I see her ending up with Jonathan after that scene, is if Steve dies. Or maybe Nancy will die and Steve and Jonathan will be sad bros. Because they'll bond over their mutual loss. But I don't know. I just don't think Nancy's going to die. I think it'll probably, if they kill any of them, it'll probably be Steve to save Nancy, because they've kind of made him a simp for her. For a while. And that kind of feels like a Duffer Brothers move, to just rip our hearts out in the last or second to last episode and have Steve save her.
A while back, then, well, if it's Nancy who like ends up dead or something, like, could she make some sort of a sacrifice? Like, could she like? And I was thinking along the lines of she might leave stuff behind for like both Jonathan and Steve, like maybe because there's like the whole education thing with Jonathan and the way, and she's very good with both of them in that sense. Like when she was still with Steve in season 2, she was taking an interest in his education. And same with Jonathan, like last season, like, have you heard back from that college? And I was wondering if she somehow was a sacrifice, if she might leave Jonathan like a job, like set him up with a job or like something like that. And like, but it's, and also I thought on something you said is then maybe if by some chance Nancy does die, then maybe it could be then that's the moment that brings Robin, Steve and Jonathan all together to like commiserate over her, share memories. It's almost a cruel irony that it might take that for Jonathan and Steve to actually be friends. That's sort of the way life works sometimes.
I feel like he would commit the sacrifice to save Nancy before anything else, because they've really milked his love for her in season 2 and season 4. Like, they really, really milked it hard. And then this season, he's just the love interest, pretty much. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting because they usually don't do that with male characters, where like they're a really big character in the show and then like in one season they just get reduced to a love interest. Like they do that with women all the time, but like with male characters, especially fan favorite male characters, it doesn't usually happen. I think Steve would, if they're gonna kill him, I hope they don't, I think they would have him die defending the kids. But because they've had him simping for Nancy for, so like I said, like pretty much since the beginning of season 4, I really think that if he dies, it'll be to save her. The Callie reveal was like, oh yeah, I remember her. She hasn't been mentioned in 2 seasons, for a show that loves to remind us of things. Like she hasn't been brought up since that episode because nobody liked it, but we're gonna make her the big reveal. Yeah, that's the only thing that I was like, oh, but luckily there was so much other stuff going on that I didn't think about it too much. Yeah, so that was fine. But I was just like, I was a little anticlimactic. And I was also like, that's strange. It's strange that they're bringing her back now. But, it's okay. It was all right. I wasn't impressed, but
no, I can understand the anticlimactic part. That's probably a fair reaction. I think I'm less negative than you. I do think there is some logic to it being her, and one of the things I think is probably like you could sort of retcon it as the government wanted her because she arguably has similar powers to
Yeah.
Elle. So you could
Yeah.
sort of read it as they wanted to use her powers to battle Elle. And yeah, I mean, I'm similar to you on that season 2 episode, and it's one of those things we're never going to know the truth of it. We're never going to know if they always intended to bring her back at some point, if they at one point wanted to do a spin-off, which I guess they could still do now. Like, they're sort of reintroducing her. Wasted thing all round, and it didn't really at the time sell me on her character, but I guess that doesn't necessarily impact this storyline that much. I think they can still do something interesting with the character now.
Oh yeah, I definitely think she's gonna have to team up with Elle and Will at some point, probably, to defeat Vecna. And they might have to find other supernatural bodied people, maybe even Holly, because she was targeted by Vecna. Maybe she's got some of the magical Vecna, whatever it is that makes them supernatural. She's got that. Maybe she's got that too now. So I definitely think that she'll be teaming up with Elle, and that will be kind of her purpose for bringing her back. I don't see them doing anything else. Or bringing her back for any other reason except probably a team up. And I think you're right, though. The government was probably like, oh, she can fight Elle or she can fight whoever. Maybe we can use her to destroy the Upside Down.
Aspect of her, Will, and maybe Callie. I think that could be a really satisfying thing, those 3 different characters, because I think people have speculated then this being the last season, you have to finally maybe have some big Will and 11 stuff together. So
yeah,
you could obviously add Callie to the mix. Callie, I wondered what you thought about this. Do you think, because she does have that little bit of a grudge with 11 from season 2, because 11 decided to go back to Hawkins, do you think that'll come back to play? Like, they could do a scenario where maybe for their own sakes they work together. Yeah, but then maybe later on you might get an Elle versus Callie battle.
That seems like the best way to add dramatic tension with this character, is to have her have a grudge against Elle. It would be kind of boring if she was just like, thanks for saving me, I'm your friend now. So I agree. I definitely think that'll probably happen. She might even blame Elle. Like, if you'd been with us, maybe everyone else in the gang was killed or something. I don't know. Maybe who knows what's happened to her since then. So she might actually blame Elle, and that would be interesting. So yeah, they might have a little tiff, a little fight before she joins with them. That would be interesting.
That flexibility over multiple seasons to maybe if something's not quite clicking originally, you can sort of fix it a little bit later on. And
what if they bring Argyle back?
Argyle's the key at the end.
They're like, oh, we need one more person to defeat Vecna. We're just not there. And Argyle just pulls up in his car, smoking a fucking joint, like, hey, I'm here. Constantly while he was in there, and I still was just like, oh my god, they're gonna kill him. Like, I was freaking out so bad. And then of course Elle being right there and like, being so upset also adds to that feeling of me being upset, because I'm just like, not only do I love Hopper and not want him to die, but I want Elle. I don't want her to lose him. Yeah.
Figure, yeah.
Especially after she already lost him kind of in season 3. So I was like, they just can't do that to us. They can't. If there's anybody that should be safe, if there's anyone, it should be Elle and Hopper. Like, they've already been through way too much. No one wants to see either of them die. Not even for dramatic tension. Pick somebody else.
They setting Max up to be like a sacrifice, because I wondered if she could have a thing where it becomes her destiny to like help kids out in like this dream world. So like that maybe she could help Holly escape, but then Max I mean, I think they would have to have a moment with her and Lucas at least, otherwise that feels a bit unsatisfying. But I wondered if maybe that could be a thing. Maybe.
I mean, who knows where they're going with all of this, because if you've known the really crazy conspiracy theories, oh, it's all just a D&D game and it's going to end with the boys playing the game. I'm like, that better not freaking happen. I'm all for big plot twists, but no, not that one.
Yeah, I mean, Stranger Things isn't the sort of show to do something like that.
I don't think so either. But I do think that we have it. It'll be hard to know what each character's destiny is going to be without knowing the bigger picture. And I kind of wonder, like if the Upside Down is still going to exist, and I think it will if they're doing spinoffs. The finale is probably going to be about containing it permanently. And I think that, Max could maybe have that role. If she does, I don't see her being alone, though. I think, I don't know, there's maybe some way Lucas will be able to visit, or someone else will go with her and will be able to go and have roles in the Upside Down. Like, who knows? Who knows what the end picture is going to be? Like, if they all, take on their D&D characters, because they're kind of doing that with Will being the sorcerer. And I don't play D&D, so I don't know if Max is kind of taking on like a good bard or a white mage role, but it kind of seems like there might be something there. I don't know, but maybe they're doing something with that. I definitely don't think they're going to kill Max. Like, she'll be alive in some way, because I don't think they would have, again, like with Hopper, I don't think they would have teased her death so much and kept her in a coma for several episodes just to be like, and now she's dead. So, because that's anticlimactic. So,
yeah, but like maybe in the way I'm thinking, it's not so much than she's dead. It's just than she's destined to live out the rest of her days, and maybe that's just a little bit of a sacrifice. Maybe she just sees it as, this is my purpose now. Because I also like if that's the way it goes, there's something about Max's past with Billy. And the fact that he was obviously, until he redeemed himself a little bit at the end, he was like an abusive brother. So there's almost a link there where she's now helping out other kids who have been like abused.
I don't want her to be alone, because she was in a coma. She's all by herself in that coma for so long. Like, I definitely want them to be able to visit her somehow or something,
Yeah, I think they would have to put a little bit of a spin on it where it's not quite as, and maybe her and Lucas have a moment, like we said. Because I think with the others in the like regular world, if you like, at least you can, if you're going to kill one of them off, at least you can have a final big scene with them and a character close to them. Yeah. It obviously would be a little sadder if Max went but didn't have a big scene with Lucas.
Yeah.
Okay. What lays in store for the Nancy group? Like, because they're in the Upside Down now, and that's fun. Feels a little bit season 4, where now they're almost trying to do their bit in the Upside Down to help out the overall thing, rather than before when they were just part of the main group, and now they've got their own thing. But like, I'm happy with that, because there's lots of potential drama with that, with all those characters. Do you have any predictions for the second half of the season? Any other thoughts?
I feel like we've talked about pretty much everything, but I do think Elle's probably safe. I don't see them putting her through everything that they did to kill her off. Same thing with Hopper. I feel like if they killed either of them, that would be a big mistake in terms of like hurting the rewatch value, hurting people's desire to see more. Just because they played with those characters dying so much, and people just don't want to see that. They just don't want to see that for them. I feel like Will is probably safe.
Okay.
And Joyce and Max, for all the reasons we said. I do feel like, Max might get trapped in the underworld or have some kind of mystical role, but I definitely don't think they're just going to kill her. I think Dustin will make up with Steve.
Yeah.
And he will reconcile his feelings and make peace with what happened to Eddie. Either Steve ends up with Nancy or one of them is going to die. So, because I just don't, I think that they've just been hinting that Jonathan's not the best boyfriend for her. So that's why Steve's either got to make the heroic sacrifice or she's going to end up with Steve somehow. So.
Or in a plot twist, Steve ends up with Jonathan.
If you see some of the like interviews and stuff, it definitely there's definitely that vibe. Even though Jonathan's married to Nancy in real life, they have such a bromance. I'm a little worried about Mike. Of all the characters, for some reason, Mike feels like that might be if they're going to do a big character death, just because he's connected to everyone. But he doesn't feel like he's got this major role. So maybe that means that he'll be, you know, the sacrifice. So, because I mean, it would devastate Will, Elle, you know, just everyone. So I don't know. Yeah. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. I know there's going to be at least one big character death, and I hope
you would think so. In all the way back to episode 2, at the time, Barb was a big death. Because they did set you up to believe she was be a regular character, and that's something the show did early on. They subverted things with her and Nancy, because in another kind of show or movie, like the Barb character would become the more central character.
Like tonally, it's shifted a lot since then, and it's not quite as horror based. It feels more dark fantasy to me. Okay. So even though like they did kill Eddie, but then Eddie was like a new character too, so it's like he's a little more expendable. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like those major character deaths have never been my favorite parts of the show. Because I'm a wimp and I like my characters and I don't want them to die.
I don't necessarily feel that strongly about it, because I think you have to have big character deaths for stakes, but you know, I understand why it's and sometimes it's just not the sort of show. Like I think you are right, this is a bit more of a positive, upbeat type show overall, with definitely dark moments. Like it's definitely darker than you would expect like a team-based show to be.
So I think they're definitely keeping spin-offs in mind. In terms of like not wanting to go Game of Thrones crazy with death, because you know, you kill off too many characters, people get mad. They're like, I'm not watching a spinoff, they're just gonna kill my favorites. It's one of the reasons I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy. So so and a few other shows.
I didn't expect that to get referenced tonight.
Mike's what my gut's telling me might be the one that bites it if any major character does. You know what? I wouldn't mind too much if Jonathan died.
There you go.
I feel awful, but he's just never been my favorite.
You got there eventually. Like
I found one character. I'm like, we can get rid of this one.
Mike pick was interesting because I never even considered him. But sometimes it's the one that, I mean, obviously he is Elle, but you know, in general, like, because in a way, if you're saying they won't do Hopper because they've gone to that well, like that might mean Joyce, you know, if you're going for a slightly unexpected one, Joyce could be a potential. Because I think with a lot of it, it's characters who you might think they're big enough for you to care, and it might be like a sacrifice. Like Joyce could sacrifice herself for Will, for example, to save him. So it's that sort of character death I think we're talking about. This is another future video, but like, you know, I think overall Stranger Things, even though people do complain a bit, then it's a little too squeamish. I think it has handled character deaths pretty well. Like I think it has made it characters that are gonna at least add stakes to, because they're important to other characters.
Yeah.
You know, like Bob was like that in season 2. Like he started off as a bit of a useless character, but over the season he did grow on us, and you could see that he actually cared about Joyce and Will. So when he went, and he was heroic at the end as well. So
and then Billy definitely has an impact on Max and her plot in season 4, and then Eddie's, as we can see, influencing Dustin. So you're right. They definitely handle death really well and seem to know what they're doing. I feel like any character's safe, it's Elle, because why would they do that to Hopper? You know, that's worse than death for his character. So I don't think they'll do that to her.
Elle being so crucial to the whole thing that maybe she could do something where she reverses time so that she's not really in Hawkins to save everybody else. I think that was just my idea about like time travel may well play a part in this season, but no.
Yeah, that wrinkle in time definitely kind of felt like a nod to maybe some time travel. I don't know. I haven't read it either, so I don't really know the reference. But like they, and a lot of people have speculated that. So I don't know if it's just a fan theory that's caught on. I'm not sure how I would feel about it because I feel like so far, even with the Upside Down and Will getting powers, it's always felt very grounded. And time travel feels like a much odder, it's a much stranger thing. No, it's a lot more mystical, and I don't know. Like, I know this isn't a super grounded show, but I do feel like time travel is just a whole other thing, and they probably should have introduced that a lot sooner if they were going to go in that direction.
I think there's any chance there's a callback to Barb, like Justice for Barb returns.
I was never really a fan of Barb, so I don't care.
No.
But I do think that they've done so many callbacks already, so there's a good chance. There's a good chance maybe Nancy will bring it up at some point. Maybe.
I definitely know friends who were a bit like,
yeah,
we're not so keen on, we're not so keen on Nancy. A little bit, maybe early on, but it's like, you sort of, because I think that was the thing that Barb was meant to represent, the more nerdy type gal, but that was the way it subverted things. And it was sort of funny watching it back because I'd forgotten it was as early as episode 2 that they killed her.
Wow, I forgot too.
Big statement, yeah. So I think that whole thing and the way they brought it back in season 2, it works because of Nancy. It works because it's important to her. So I was happy she had that closure. Jump in the comments and let us know what you think of this season so far and what you think about some of our talking points and some of our questions.
This whole time, everything we have ever assumed about the Upside Down has been dead wrong.
This isn't like one of your campaigns. You don't get to write the ending. Not this time.
We stay true to ourselves. Stay true to our friends. No matter the cost. After what we've been through, this thing, it ties us together. Forever.
Wherever this blood leads, I need you to fight one last time. Let's end this, kid.
Mother of God.
You die, I die.
You die, I die.
We never stood a chance.
We failed.
This is not over. Not by a long shot.
It's time for new.
I don't know what's on the other side of any of this. If we want to stand a chance of surviving, we need to be a team.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, getting some feelings from that.
Walking
What was that?
Dead, they would always give a character like a whole episode before they killed them sometimes. So that makes me nervous.
Oh, no.
But everything looks so good. And apparently Steve and Dustin are gonna have reconciliation.
It's Madison, if you die, I die. Happy holidays, everyone. Take care. I feel like we could just keep doing that. Like everyone could do it. Say to everyone near them, if you die, I die. It's
Oh my
the end of
gosh.
the world. Okay.